I want to spend a few minutes and discuss images. Now, when we use Pillow or PIL, the library in Python, to manipulate images, you have to have a basic understanding of images and how they work. So we'll spend a few minutes talking about this. Essentially, you can think of an image as a grid. And let me select a pen here. So if we have a big box, let's pretend this is your image. All right. And it's my horrible drawing on my tablet. And on this dimension, this is your X dimension, and this is your Y dimension. And your origin up here is pixel 0, 0. This first 0 corresponds to the X dimension, and this other 0, the second 0, is the Y dimension. So Y, X. So you'll hear oftentimes XY coordinates. That's what this is. And you can think of every pixel in the image on a grid. And we'll just draw this out. So here is my poorly drawn image. All right, so here's our image. And what size image do we have? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pixels in the X dimension, and 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels in the Y dimension. So your width would correspond to your highest, the total number or length of X, which is 7, and your height, H, equals 4. Now remember, that is the length, and just like arrays or lists in Python or strings, you don't have values 1 through 7, you have values 0 through 6 in the X dimension, and you don't have values 1 through 4 in Y, you have 0 through 3. So this first pixel would be 0, 0. The second pixel would be 1, 0, 2, 0, and so on and so forth until you get to 6, 0. All right, so that's the first row. Now you have Y of 1 and X position of 0, so it would be 0, 1 right here. And now this would be 1, 1, 2, 1, and all the way to 6, 1. This third pixel vertically would be 0, 2. Now you have 1, 2, 2, 2, and so on and so forth to position 6, 2. So right here where I am, X is 6 and Y is equal to 2. And then finally 0, 3, 1, 3, and so on and so forth until the bottom right hand is X equal to 6, Y equal to 3. So X goes from 0 to 1 minus the length, from left to right, and then from top to bottom, Y goes from 0 to 1 minus the height. So that is how an image is laid out in terms of pixels. Now, each of these pixels has a value. I will open up a new slide here. Oops, I don't want to do that. New blank slide. All right. So we have our image. All right. And we have at 0, 0, so this top corner, this actually is represented by what's called an RGB A value. You may be familiar with red, green, blue, RGB. This is just an extra dimension for alpha, so transparency. And this, again, this is the red component. This is green. This is blue. And this is alpha. And essentially, this is a tuple R, G, B, A, and each of these values can range from 0 to 255. So green is 0 to 255, blue is 0 to 255, and then alpha is 0 to 255. So for each of the pixels that we talked about in this first slide, if we take pixel 0, 0, so x equals 0, y equals 0, and we kind of extrapolate that out, that has a value in and of itself, which is a color. And that color is represented by 4 items in a tuple, a red, a green, a blue, and an alpha value. So that is the basics of an image, and we'll talk about the concept of steganography and steganalysis, so analyzing messages within images, in another video that's similar to this. And then we'll also dig into how to use Pillow, which will be pertinent for your lab this week.